It's now to talk trade. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson. Governor, it's good to see you. You're highlighting your effort to bring global companies to Arkansas. And I just wonder, who do you consider to be your biggest competition? Do you consider it to be like New York or Illinois or Florida and Texas? Because those are the two states that we hear about that are really, trying to get people to move from the high tax states down to Florida or Texas. But Arkansas too?
We compete. And first of all, you have expanding economy. Businesses are looking for areas to invest. We compete with other states on it. Obviously, some of those low tax states are competition to us. That's why we have, in this last session, had a very pro-business legislative session where we lowered individual income taxes. We also lowered corporate income taxes in Arkansas, becoming more business friendly, but it's also about the relationships that you build. That's why myself and my Secretary of Commerce, we've been to multiple countries, including China, Japan. Delighted to see the president in Japan because that's a very important investment partner for Arkansas. That's our #1 foreign investment source is Japan right now in terms of job creation in the state of Arkansas. So we're expanding both in terms of our existing companies, but recruiting industry, most recently a Czech Republic company, CZ, located in central Arkansas. Their first manufacturing facility in North America is going to be right there in Arkansas.
When you're cutting taxes, we see what happened in Illinois, we see what happened in Connecticut or wherever you want to look at the exit, but then people always bring up Kansas to me. They cut taxes too quickly, didn't have the revenue. How do you replace the revenue for things that Arkansas needs for its citizens? What do you do?
Well, one, you're a little bit careful about it, and we have cut taxes over the last 4 years. Gradually, we do it every session, and we do it carefully so we don't disrupt our education delivery and our investment in education. In fact, this year we cut taxes. We also raised teacher pay $4,000 over the next 4 years. And so the other thing that we're doing is that we're setting aside money. We have a balanced budget, and we're setting aside money in savings every month as a state. So our long-term reserves are increasing. So you do that carefully, but it's a growing economy. We've created 80,000 jobs. 65,000 people have moved out of poverty, up the economic ladder over the last 5 years. Personal income growth is going up. And so that's the kind of economy that you can lower taxes, but we're also careful in case this long history of economic expansion slows down.
Just looking at Arkansas's rankings from U.S. News Best States, you come in 49th in terms of health care, 42nd in terms of education, 43rd in terms of economy, and 47th in terms of infrastructure. How do you combat that? How do you fight that? Is it part of what you've just been talking about?
Well, I mean, first of all, we are moving up on those scales and in those particular categories. But whenever you look at the investment in Arkansas, people are choosing to move there. Our population is increasing. Businesses are expanding. You look at the investment in our infrastructure. We passed a highway bill as well this last session of the legislature, not waiting on Washington, but we're investing in highways. So we're taking control of our future. We're improving education, computer science education. We're considered one of the leading states, if not the leading state, in a comprehensive computer science education program.
Raising pay for teachers, I'm sure, is part of that effort, too.
Absolutely. So we're investing in the things that make a difference for the next generation, make a difference for our economy and the growth of it. And, you've got to have that balance. A diversified economy is very important to our state. Some people are surprised by the fact that while agriculture is our #1 industry, our second one is tourism. People are coming to Arkansas because of the quality of life, because of our incredible outdoor activities that are available.
Devil's Den State Park. I've been camping there. It's a beautiful place. Soybeans, though, is your biggest crop, and that's been potentially hurt by these trade talks. What do you think of the situation?
Well, we have 90% of our soybean crop is exports. Of those exports, 60% of those exports go to China. So obviously, we're being hurt by the tariff increases and the trade war that we see right in front of our eyes. It's not sufficient just to say we're going to put more money given to our farmers. We want a long-term solution. And all of our farmers understand the importance of getting it better with China, more balanced trading relationship there. But we want to know what the end goal is. And if the end goal is zero tariffs, then hang in there, let's get there. Now, if the end goal is some kind of an agreement with high tariffs, then that's not a good end goal.
Red State Governor sticks with Trump on China trade. This was, can't take much more pain. That was July 9th of 2018. Governor Asa Hutchinson told CNBC that he sticks with Trump. Not much longer. It's been, it's going to be a year this July. So where are you now? You sticking with him still, or you're ready to throw in the towel and say, let's do what we need to do to end it?
Listen, he's done so many good things that are out there, and give hats off to him that we have a new NAFTA agreement. Mm-hmm. We want the Senate to ratify that.
So are you glad he did the tariffs on China?
No.
You're not. So you would not have taken on China with you would have done it some other way, or?
Well, first of all, the key to our negotiation with China is enforcement. And we have to have better enforcement tools, and part of that is the lack of transparency in China. The president has done the right thing by negotiating. He had an increase in the tariffs initially. China came to the table and said, we will buy more agricultural products. That was a good win right there. Now we're going to have
only one sector. We want access to their whole market. That's what the pain's all about, right?
That's right. But let's look at the steel tariffs right now. I mean, the steel tariffs are hurting Arkansas in terms of our manufacturing capacity, because much of it is not just China, but it's also South Korea and other places that we're getting our steel. And there's companies that are not expanding because of those existing tariffs.
Are you willing to stay the course? And I'm speaking as an investor now. I want a deal that gives me access to their markets and protection of my IP. Those are the two things I want. If I don't get those, there is no deal as far as I'm concerned. Keep going. How much pain can you take on soya? How much pain can you take before you say, I can't take it anymore?
Well, that's an undetermined answer right there as to how much you can take. I don't think it's a solution to say, well, every year the federal government will give our soybean farmers more money. That's not what they're interested in. They're looking at markets that they can expand to. And there's a challenge that right now you've got China and the other global markets going to Brazil and other places. Once we get back to a trading relationship, are we going to be able to rebuild those markets and those relationships, or have we lost them? So there is some urgency to getting to the point that we're going to have normalized global trade. And I agree with you. We want the open markets there, but we also want to have that enforcement capacity. The president's trying to negotiate that. A lot of it's behind the scenes we don't know about. Well, hopefully we can get there sooner rather than later.
Governor, I have a social question, but I think has an economic impact, which is this. Alabama, earlier this year, tried to ban abortions. Earlier this year, in Arkansas, there was an effort to restrict abortions. How do you think that plays in terms of bringing business to the state? And the reason I ask is, even over LGBT issues and other things, you saw what happened in North Carolina and elsewhere, and this is something that I think is starting to bubble up as a conversation in the C-suite.
Well, these are issues of life that we shouldn't just measure by economic impact and how Hollywood's going to respond to it. These are the values that people of Arkansas feel dearly about. And in Arkansas, though, I think we handle it in a better fashion. We did include, we went from 20 weeks to 18 weeks in terms of abortion prohibition. We also had the exceptions of rape and incest in the legislation. We have a trigger law in the event Roe versus Wade is reversed, then we can go back. We will have stronger prohibitions on abortion. But I think we handled it in a measured way this year that has the best chance of influencing the debate nationally, as well as recognizing the improvements that science have made in terms of viability. So I think we had good legislation this year that was balanced, and we've seen absolutely no repercussions in terms of businesses being concerned.
Governor, thank you.